The slipper wasn't mine. Chapter 2. The tree still stands. When the magic broke, I didn't fall, I folded. Neatly, quietly, the way paper folds around something. It was never meant to hold. There was no crash, no sparkling farewell. No one saw me vanish. It just disappeared. Back into myself, back into something smaller. The velvet was still clutched in my paws. A scrap from the sash I'd sewn for Ella. I remember the way it looked in the moonlight when she wore it. The way she tore it. The way I thought we made something real. But now, it was just fabric. Just thread. Just memory. I didn't move for hours. The hearth was cold and empty. The shadows didn't even shift. Maybe time stopped with me. Finn found me, eventually. He always does. That's his magic. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't say anything at all. Just sat beside me, in the ashes, and waited. Later he tried to joke. I had been something beautiful. And then, it was gone. I don't know what made me go back to the tree. Maybe it was because no one stopped me. Maybe because the others were too busy, whispering around Ella, who sat by the window, her chin resting on her knees, her gaze far off toward the horizon. She didn't ask where I had gone. She didn't thank me. But I don't think she needed to. That's not who she is. She feels everything silently. And that's the part of her that makes people forget to look closer. So I left. The moon was high and cold above the orchard. The path to the tree felt longer than before. Like it knew what I've done. I walked slowly. And when I reached the tree, I didn't stand tall. I didn't call out. I knelt. And I whispered. I wasn't trying to steal anything I said. I just wanted to feel real. I don't know if I expected an answer, but I was too tired to pretend I didn't want one. Then when she appeared, no, not the godmother. No lightning, no grandeur, just shimmer. A flicker of starlight in the far foam. A mouse, not much bigger than me, with a velvet ribbon for a cape, and an earring made from broken beads. She didn't announce herself.
You're waiting for her?
Her voice came. Tiny, dry, full of dust and secrets.
She doesn't come for repeat customers.
I stared.
The one with the dress, the drama, the wand.
The mouse waved a paw.
Too busy granting new stories. You're in the rewrite phase.
That's when I realized. This wasn't the fairy godmother. This was someone smaller. Older, maybe wiser. Who are you? I asked.
Fairy. Got mouse.
She said, like it was obvious.
Or Sparkle, if you insist on nicknames.
I blinked. She tilted her head.
You wanted to be human, but you never loved the mouse first.
I don't know what to say to that. My tongue felt too thick. My chest too hollow. I thought I had made peace with who I was. But maybe I only ever dreamed of being something else. I felt big, I said finally.
But it doesn't count. If you only believe it when someone else is holding your hand.
I looked away.
You have to be your own magic first.
she added. Then she smiled. It wasn't sweet, but it was real,
Next time you ask to be transformed,
she said.
make sure you know who you're becoming.
She vanished before I could respond, in a swirl of dandelion fluff and dust. But I heard her voice echo just once more.
Borrowed time only feels real when you forget it's borrowed.
I walked back slower, my paws dragging. Back home, Finn didn't ask where I'd been, but he saw something had shifted. He handed me half a walnut. I nodded in thanks. We sat in silence. Then a shadow dropped across our windowsill. A bird, out of breath, covered in crumbs.
The prince.
It chirped.
He's looking for the girl. The one with the glass slipper.
I froze. My mind flashed to the dance. The step. The way the prince had looked at me. Then her. Then back at me again. Finn groaned.
Not again.
I stood up. We have to help. Finn tilted his head.
Help who?
Help him. He's looking in the wrong direction. He's chasing a symbol, not a person. We're small, I said. We can't hide. We can't sneak. We can reach him. Finn groaned again.
Why is it always me doing this sneaking?
But he followed. He always does. The journey was ridiculous. We hitched the ride, dodged wheels, climbed up curtain, nearly drowned in a puddle of spilled wine. And then, we made it. The palace. We crept into the ballroom. And there he was. The prince. Alone. Seated on the ballroom steps. One slipper in his lap. His face turned toward the moonlight. Still dressed in royal blue. Like he's deflated under the weight of the crown. I climbed to the table near him. Found a parchment. An inkwell. My paws trembled. Finn climbed onto my shoulder. Whispered.
You sure?
I nodded. I dipped the quill. And began to write. Her name is... Eyes. Glowing. The castle cat. I froze.
Don't move.
I whispered. To Finn. To myself. His claws were up. One paw already mid-swing. Eyes narrowed. Back legs coiled. Every instinct in his body said pounce. And I thought, so this is it? No fairy tale ending. No second chance. Just teeth. Just fur. Just the blur of claws. And a note I didn't even get to finish. Finn curled against my side. Eyes shut. And then, everything stopped. The cat lifted. Not by wings, not by magic, but by hands. Human hands. Strong, gentle, unexpected. The prince. The cat hissed. But the prince didn't flinch. He just held it. Held him. Held time. And then, he looked down. Right at us. Right at me. Not at the note. Not at the ink. At me. His gaze didn't say, "What are you?" It said, "I've seen you before." I didn't breathe. I didn't move. Neither did Finn. We were two mice, caught on the edge of a page, in a story that wasn't ours anymore. His eyes flicked to the paper. The half-written sentence. Her name is. And then back to me. Not confused, not angry, just watching. And something in his face softened. A corner of memory bent and folded. Like maybe he couldn't place me, but he felt me. Like I was music he couldn't name, but couldn't stop humming. Then Finn squeaked. We ran. Down the table leg, over the velvet clothes, behind the silver plate. The whole ballroom blurred past. I didn't dare look back. Not until we were halfway down the corridor. And Finn had stopped breathing like a deflated bellows. I turned, just once. And I saw him. Still standing by the table. Still holding the cat. Still looking our way. He didn't call out. He didn't chase. But he didn't look away either. That's when I knew. He remembered something. Not my face, not my name, but the way it felt when our hands touched. The weight of a glance. The beat of a dance we never got to finish. We slipped into the walls and didn't stop until we reached the attic. Collapsed in a drawer of fabric scraps and thread. Finn didn't say anything. Neither did I. So yeah, that was chapter 2 of The Slipper Wasn't Mine. If you made it this far, you officially seen more of my story than most ever did. If you liked it, maybe press the little like button or subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. There's more, trust me. And if you got stories you want to hear, quiet ones, strange ones, not the main character kind of ones, I'm listening. Thanks for being here. See you in chapters 3.